All right, shalom, shalom. All praise to the Most High, man. We back on another Shabbat, right? Back in another class here in the school that the Most High has blessed us with. So we want to say Barakatah Yahweh, Barakatah Yahweh Shai. All right, I'm Captain Yonatan.
Captain Yakum Yah.
Captain Judah.
Right, and we the Anointed House of Saints. All right, and so we're gonna start our class today. I'm gonna jump right into it. We're not gonna do nothing, no shout outs to anything. That's what we normally do, but we appreciate everybody who had time to watch this lesson. If you're watching online or whatever like that, we pray you have a blessed Sabbath, right? So I want to start with the question, because we do have some children in the building, and I'm gonna give them an opportunity to answer some questions. But anybody who wants to answer, feel free to answer these questions. All right. What is the definition of life? What is life? All right, so we got two hands. Let me start with the first one that went up. Go ahead. Say it loud. What's the definition of life? What does it mean to have life?
To live.
Okay, so to live. All right, what'd you say?
To live and see the morning.
I didn't hear that second part. What'd she say?
See the morning.
Okay, and see the morning. So like to wake up, right? To wake up in the morning, to be able to see the sun, walk around, experience the things that the Most High created. Okay, those are good examples. But both of y'all was talking about regular life, right? Now, how many lives do you get?
One.
You sure? Y'all said you only get one life. Oh, see, now you guess it now. You guess it. Nah, but that's a good answer though. She said two. All right. So what we're gonna talk about today is the difference between the spirit and the flesh. We have two different lives going on at the same time, right? You got a spiritual life going on, and then you got a flesh life, meaning the world that you can see. So what we're gonna go into is Romans chapter 6, and we're gonna start around verse 7, and we're gonna start talking about the difference between those two lives. All right. And I'm gonna ask another question. If y'all want to jump in, anytime you want to jump in there. But I want to ask one more question before we get started. Which life is more important, the spirit or the physical life that you live every day?
Spirit.
Okay, she said spirit. Anybody else got an answer? Go ahead. Y'all know the answer. Go ahead.
Yeah, well, we know.
Because we talked about it. No, but go ahead.
But yeah, obviously spirit.
Okay, he said the spirit. Okay. I'm going to put to you that they are both equally as important. The spiritual life is going to connect you closer to the Most High, right? But they are equally important in the sense that I can't just be in the spirit all the time. The brother Judah hit me up. Yo, I need you to pray for me. I'm going to pray for you in the spirit. I physically got to pray for the brother. Or if he need me to pull up and do something, I got to physically pull up. What's up?
Also, without your physical life, you can't be in tune with your spiritual life.
Right, and we learn about the spirit through the physical life, right? Because when we read the Bible, it says, he who meditates on the law shall be like a tree planted by. So if I wasn't in the physical world and I didn't know what a tree was, I can't even understand that parable, right? So the Most High uses our physical life to teach us about the spiritual life. All right, so that's why they're equally important. Now let's go to Romans chapter 6. Let's start at verse. Matter of fact, let's start at verse 6.
This is the book of Romans chapter 6 and verse 6. Knowing this, that our old man is crucified with him, that the body of sin might be destroyed, that henceforth we should not serve sin.
So the reason that Christ died was so that we could be free from the curse of the law, right? So I want to ask y'all a question. The law says that I can't kill, I can't steal, I got to honor my mother and my father. Christ came to free us from the curse of the law. The church teaches that means Christ came to free you so you don't have to keep the law. That don't even make sense. So that means Christ died so I can dishonor my mother and father? Christ died so I can kill people? It can't mean that, right? Let's break this verse down. It says, our old man is crucified with him. Somebody tell me, what's the old man? The old man is one of those two lives that we live every day. The old man is that flesh. When I was born and I was a baby, y'all been around babies, right? Everybody in this room been around babies. So when a baby is born, the baby only knows the flesh. When it's hungry, it just wants food. That baby will kill you to get some food, right? And then in the morning, he happy to see you again. And then when he hungry, he gonna kill you again, right? Because a baby is just worried about the food, man, right? Same thing with a little child that's got a toy they like to play with. Toy been sitting in the corner all day. Let somebody else come touch that toy. It's a problem, right? And it's like, yo, you wasn't even worried about it because a baby is undeveloped in the spiritual side, but they really focus on the flesh. We can't be like that. When we come into this truth, when we come into this truth, we're supposed to let that old spirit die, right? That old way of living is supposed to die. All right, and we're gonna get into. I'm gonna get some precepts to go further, but I just want to make sure it's clear. All right, let's keep reading in verse 6 after the comma.
Verse 6, that henceforth we should not serve sin.
You see that? So we are actually enslaved to sin, right? What is sin? Just real quick definition. What is sin? Go ahead. You go ahead.
The transgression of the law.
The transgression of the law. So if the law says I can't eat pork, me eating pork is the transgression of the law, right? I just broke that law. Now I'm in sin. The reason Christ died is so that we don't have to be in servitude or in slavery to our sinful desires, right? So he's giving us another road now, and we can be like, dang, I used to want to do that, but I have power to conquer that addiction to smoking weed. I have the power now to conquer that addiction to want to sleep with every woman I see or whatever, right? I have power to conquer that, right? All right, let's keep going. Verse 7.
Verse 7. For he that is dead is freed from sin. Now, if we be dead with Christ, we believe that we shall also live with him.
Okay, so we believe that we are dead with Christ. Now, I'm going to make this make sense. So Christ came and he died on the cross, right? When he died, that represent the spiritual connection between him and Israel. When he died, Israel's supposed to die to the law of sin and death. We are no longer locked into that covenant of sin and death. Now we can have an option to choose righteousness. Let me get Deuteronomy 6:25. Let's go into what is righteousness real quick. Yep. If you got a precept.
That was a precept.
Yep.
Con. This is the book of Deuteronomy, chapter 6 and verse 25. And it should be our righteousness if we observe to do all these commandments before Yahweh, our power, as he commanded us.
You see that? So the Bible says that this is our righteousness when we do the commandments of the Most High, right? So we can't, a lot of people on earth think that being righteous is just doing good things. But the Bible gives us a clear definition that being righteous has to do with following the commandments of the Most High. I'm going to give it to you in another place. Let me get Sirach 11 and 15.
Let's go to Sirach chapter 11 and verse 15. You got to say, Con. I know I'm quick on the sword. I've been there. I was there before he called me. We good? Okay, Con. This is the book of Sirach chapter 11 verse 15. Wisdom, knowledge, and understanding of the law are of the Lord. Love and the way of good works are from him.
So as we was talking about, when we were originally born, right, into this world, we didn't have wisdom, knowledge, and understanding of the law. So that the Most High hadn't given us that yet. There was a point in time when he gave us the spirit that said, hey, I want to serve the Most High, right? I went 20-something years of my life before we decided to start keeping the law. Right? A lot of brothers, they went 30-something years of their life. I don't want to tell you, he went 52 years of his life without deciding to keep the law. So that means that his flesh, his first life, he was living that life for 50-something years. And I was living that life for 20-something years. And I've only been living this life for like 7 years now, or 8 years, because age is 8 years old. So we only been living this life for 8 years. So that means that my physical life got a lot more time than my spiritual life, which means what? It's going to be a hard battle because I got 28 years of habits on this side that I got to break in order to move to this side. Yeah, God, please.
That's a good point you made. I never thought about it like that. people my age, we tend to have a harder time to accept the truth because we locked in on our old ways.
Right.
And they say, most of the older people, they locked in.
Yeah.
And it's hard to change them.
Yeah.
So that's a good point. That's a real good point.
Yeah, and what they say, you can't teach an old dog new tricks.
Exactly.
And that, to me, that's a crutch. Because it's like, you can learn new stuff. Come on.
Right.
Like, you know what I'm saying? You can learn new stuff. Don't do that. God, please get that.
Yeah, we get Luke chapter 5, just to go into that point. Because just like you said, they say you can't teach old dog new tricks. So I just brought this precept out to go with what I don't want y'all said. And then when you said what you said, I reread the precept. I'm like, oh, that's what that's saying.
Yeah.
Feel me?
21.
Luke 5, let's do. Let me see if I want that. Let's start at
36, really.
Yeah, let's start at 36.
God, this is the book of Luke, chapter 5 and verse 36. And he spake also a parable unto them. No man putteth a piece of a new garment upon an old. If otherwise, then both the new maketh a rent, and the piece that was taken out of the new agreeth not with the old.
So you can't put new and old together, right? We're gonna get into it in just a second, but you can't put new and old together. That's what it's saying right here, right? Keep going.
Verse 37. And no man putteth new wine into old bottles, else the new wine will burst the bottles and be spilled, and the bottles shall perish. But new wine must be put into new bottles, and both are preserved. No man also having drunk old wine straightway desireth new, for he said, the old is better.
And we've seen that in the church. Like the older folks, they want to stick to their traditions and all that.
Yeah.
But what this is really saying is you got to become a whole new person to get this new information.
That's right.
You know what I'm saying? You can't be that old bottle trying to get this new one because you're going to think, nah, I'm cool where I was at. It's always been good this way.
Right.
Grandma taught me this way, or my pastor taught me this. You know what I'm saying? You actually have to be a whole new person to even receive the outpouring of the knowledge of the Most High, or it's just not going to work.
That's a fact.
You know?
That's a fact. And that's a beautiful point, because the thing is, I think a lot of the times, even when we come to stuff of the world, right? If I wanted to teach myself how to be a millionaire, Judah would tell you this. If we try to learn business, it's certain business principles that I have to learn from the inside out. I got to change certain behaviors about myself. I've always been comfortable with doing. I have to change that because that's going to hinder my business. Right? So when we come to the Most High, we're supposed to have that same spirit. It's certain things about myself that I might love and I might be comfortable with. I have to change this in order for this to be a successful endeavor that I'm going on. Right? Let me give you a small example. And I'm going to let you say that. A small example is this. If I give you $5, right, and say, y'all go to the store, buy whatever you want, right? And you are the type of person that you just have the habit or the ability of going to the store and spending all your money as soon as you touch your hand. When I give you that $5 is gonna be gone as soon as you go to the store. Now, likewise, if I give you $10 million, now you got Lamborghini, you don't even know how to drive yet.
It's going faster.
It's going faster because you got a bigger credit card limit now. And it's gone because you didn't change your thought process before the Most High gave you something more. So now we in a situation where we're teaching. We have to change our thought process because when he gives us something more, we're going to know what to do with it. Go ahead.
And let me off of what you just said, which is a good point. 1 Peter 2:2, it says, as newborn babes, desire the sincere milk of the word that ye may grow thereby. Yeah, so you gotta to change your mind and to change your thought process. That's right. That's becoming a newborn babe again. You know what I'm saying? You becoming a newborn babe, you're changing your old habits, your old ways, and you're putting in what the Most High said is law. And now you're gonna grow in the righteous way.
In the right way. Right. Exactly. That's beautiful. I'm gonna come back to that. Hold that precept. I'm coming back to that. You can go ahead with that.
Hey, I just wanted to let me back off his point. He said you didn't change your thought process before the Most High gave you more. Another thing, it should be over there. Oh,
And I got one in my book bag as well.
You got all the pins. And Brian, bring me your laptop too when you get a chance. All right, so he talked about how you didn't change your thought process before the Most High allowed you to have more, right?
Uh-huh.
This is the same thing that happened in the talent, the parable of the talent, Matthew 25 and verse. I'm just gonna read the point. Verse 23. Now, this is his response to the brother who did what he was supposed to do, right? Who had the right mindset. It says, and his Lord said unto him, well done, good and faithful servant. Thou hast been faithful over a few things. I will make thee ruler over many things. Enter thou into the joy of thy Lord. So you have to be faithful for over that $1 before you can get that 5. Be faithful over that 5 before you can get that 10. You know, it's the same thing in the word. I mean, in the truth.
Yeah.
You got to be faithful over the little bit of knowledge he gave you in the beginning before you can be breaking down day. And all that other stuff. So I know that.
Nah, that's an excellent point. And it's crazy. Yeah, go ahead. Say what you want to say.
That reminds me of the story of the talents.
Right. That's what he's
That's
reading.
what you said.
That was it. Yeah.
The story of the parable of the talents, right? And what's crazy is, so with all the stuff going on with J. Cole and Kendrick Lamar this week, right? I kind of got wrapped up in it. But I was listening to, I'm talking about kind of. Be real, I got wrapped up in it. So I was listening to Kendrick, right? And that song, Rich Spirit. The song Rich Spirit is going into exactly what I'm saying right now. The same issues he left life with in the regular world, after he got rich, he had the same problems. He talks about how his cousin was trying to sue him. He talks about how he ain't really got no real connections to nobody else, which is why in the music video, he got a phone. He said, rich, broke phone, right? He got a phone that's not connected to nothing. He talking on the phone to nobody. And he in his hotel room talking to his shadow. He in there dancing and performing by himself because he's isolated in a world where, although he has all the money, he has all the riches, he has all the fame, the same issues that he had in regular life before he got that money is the same issues he has now. Because we have not been taught how to self-reflect and fix the issues that we have as a people before we go and try to get more stuff, right? Because when I go get more stuff, now I just got more problems because I never fix who I am, right? So this is what we see with all these Hollywood people. Now, I wanted to make this point because Adam Wine said something heavy as well. Yeah, if somebody had a question, go ahead.
I was gonna say sometimes the problems that you had in the world, you will still have those problems when you're in the truth. But with God, you know how to maneuver better with them. You know what I mean? Because all your problems gonna leave you.
Correct. And you still gonna deal. So let me say it for the camera because I don't know if they heard you.
Oh.
She said that some of the problems that you have in the world are the same problems that you're gonna have when you come into the truth. Ain't nothing gonna change. The people around you not gonna change.
Yeah.
Right? The people in your family not gonna change. They still gonna do the same stuff they've been doing. It's a matter of how you gonna react to it. Are you gonna go follow them up and become a demon with them? Or am I gonna have to tell my cousin, like, I can't do that. You know I don't live like that. Right? You know what I'm saying? I got a homeboy that hit me up every once in a while. And he'd be like, man, you know, I gotta tell you, I don't really agree with the Bible like that, but I have to give you your props. I just love how you raising your family. Right? Because we have a different standard that we living by. And the people that used to know me, they see the old me. That's what this is about. You want people to see the old you. It's not so much me coming to everybody, yo, you got to change what you're doing. You got to do what I'm doing. Yeah. They may not do that, but they will see what you're doing and see your growth and be like, yo, I don't know what you're doing, but whatever it is, keep doing it. Right? And we hear that all the time. So all praise to the Most High. Go ahead.
That's a good point. Again, I got 3 daughters, right? And I've been in this truth for 5 years. Everybody thought I was crazy at first.
Yeah.
But they see me year after year doing the same thing. Now they saying, I want to learn.
Now they want to learn.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Because they watch it.
And that's a beautiful story.
Yeah.
That's a beautiful story because it's like, for us, the only thing we really want is for people to come in. And when we first come into the truth, we be real zealous and we be busting everybody over the head with the Bible. Right? Oh, I ain't even see your hand up, King.
Oh, I was about to say another problem is too, because we be talking about the differences between Israelites and the Christian church.
Yeah.
And when you go down to the narrow and the nitty gritty, you really don't see a difference because you cut me one time when you taught a lesson and it was saying like a lot of times we got scriptures to cut people, but we don't have the scriptures to heal them.
Yeah.
So if we just straight jumping on people's back and not trying to heal them from the cuts that we're giving them or from the cuts that they already got,
Yeah.
that's causing trauma. That goes into the scripture says don't offend the little ones.
Yeah.
You know, because you're trying to get them to come into the truth. But a lot of times we deter people from actually coming into the truth, and it got to do with a lot of our approach and how we do things. Like we not in the time of Paul, Peter, and all them other boys. You know, back then you could call somebody a derogatory term in the modern day society, like a faggot or something.
Yeah.
And they want to change because that back then, that's something
It was
bad.
a lot. Yeah.
But now you call somebody that, you might make them twist a little harder because I'm proud of you. You know.
Yeah. No, straight up.
But we gotta learn how to make a better effort at the approach and the perspective and the delivery.
Yeah.
Because we're not living in a society where everybody's like tough and everybody want to be a boastful man. We
Yeah.
live in a society
People
where people are
sensitive.
weak.
Yeah. People sensitive as hell, and you can't tell nobody nothing.
Tone.
Yeah. Your tone.
It's about everything. The tone, the way you don't even. It ain't gotta be about the tone. It's not what you said or how you say it. It's just you said it. That's all it is.
It's like, bro, come on, man. And that's the mentality of our people. But those same people won't be mad when somebody come and tell them how to get some money, though. They won't be mad. They'll run that play. But as soon as you give them a play on how to improve spiritually or improve culturally, now it's a problem, right? Because we don't see culture and spirit as the same type of currency as money. Money is way more important to most people, right? So let's think about this real quick. I want to go back to this start. He said we have to become like babes. So remember, I said we got 2 lives, right? Now let's make this make sense. How you got 2 lives? How can a person have 2 lives for real, right? Let's make it make sense. I'm gonna show you. That was a rhetorical question. So the first life is the life that you see around you, right? The first life is the life that you see around you, the physical things that you're doing. But that second life is what the Most High sees. So for instance, I can give, I don't want y'all can get $5. On the outside, the world that we see around us, everybody like, oh snap, you giving him money. That's a good thing. The Most High looking at my spirit and why I gave it to him. I gave it to him because I want something back. Now the Most High looking at it like I'm holding that against you. That don't count as a good thing to the Most High because he knows my heart and my spirit and the reason why I did it. So the second life that we have has to be concerned with the reason why I'm doing stuff. Right? Give me Proverbs 4:23. Right?
Proverbs 4:23.
Yep, 4:23. And I want you to just remember what I was saying. He said that we have to become like babies, right? And we're gonna drive this point home. As a baby trusts and believes what's being said, right? A baby is like, yo, this is what my father said, and this is what I'm gonna do. Because this is the only way to go. A baby is not thinking, I know the best way, I'm gonna figure it out. No, a baby is like, I know what my father said, that's what I'm gonna do, right? But as an adult, or really as a teenager, I would say, we start to get to this point where it's like, I don't know if that's the best way to do it, right? I'm gonna do it this way. I'm gonna figure out the hard way, and then your parents are sitting back like, all right, figure it out.
Yeah.
And when you get done figuring it out, I'm gonna still be here, right? He's talking about no diddy, right? So
What did you even say?
Yeah, go ahead. Go ahead.
You were saying something about the heart. I can't remember how you worded it, but I always bring this scripture up. Colossians 3:24, 23 and 24.
Okay.
Yeah,
He gonna read it for
You're
you.
gonna read it? Okay.
Galatians 3:23.
And 24.
I gotta read Bible, so it's gonna take me a minute.
Okay, here you go.
You got it?
Yeah, I got you right here.
Okay.
So this is the book of Colossians, chapter 3:23. And whatsoever you do, do it heartily as to the Lord and not unto men, knowing that of the Lord you shall receive the reward of his inheritance, for you serve the Lord Hamashiach Yahushua. Right. So that's an excellent verse because ultimately the things that we're doing it for the Most High, right? I'm not giving my brother some money because I want him to give me back something, or I want to be in good favor with him, or I want him to remember me. So when he had his live class later, he'll say my name on the live class. That's not the reason I should be doing stuff. Because if I'm doing stuff for that reason, in the world that we live in, it looks good, right? But the Most High is not counting that for you. That does not count. And if we don't start tallying up the things that actually count for the Most High, then we're wasting time. Another example of this we talk about all the time is prayer, right? So when I'm praying, am I using vain repetitions? Am I saying, "Hear, O Israel, the Lord our God, the Lord is one. And you should love the Lord your God." You checking your phone while you're saying it? You should love the Lord your God. All right, cool, I said it. The Most High didn't even hear that. You know what I'm saying? If your spirit is not connected to the prayer or connected to the actions that you're doing, and we're going to talk about this on the Passover in more detail, but if your spirit is not connected to the physical action of what you're doing, you may as well not even do it. That's how the Most High works. And we can show you that in Scripture. I'm not going to go too far into it because I want to get back into Romans 6. Let me get John chapter 3 and verse 3. Yeah, get Proverbs 4 and 23, and then I'm gonna get John chapter 3 and 3.
Okay. This is the book of Proverbs, chapter 4 and verse 23. Keep thy heart with all diligence, for out of it are the issues of life.
So all of the issues of life come out of your heart. So that means that if you do a good thing in the physical world, that the Most High may not count that as a good thing for you. This is why Matthew chapter 7, they said, "But Lord, haven't we done all these things in your name? We prophesied in your name. We healed the sick. We cast out demons." And he said, "I have never known you." So if we doing all these things for the wrong reason, and I say this all the time, it's possible to go to camp for the wrong reason. Just going into what Jacob was just saying and what Judah always teaching. If I'm going to camp because I want to cut somebody, I can't wait till Esau show up today, boy. Woo, I got some precepts for him today. It's like the Most High sitting back like, "Yo, what about the people I sent you there for?" What about that? Right? So, all right, I'm on a tangent. Let's get John chapter 3 real quick. And start at verse 3.
Found the book of John, chapter 3, verse 3. Yahushua answered and said unto him, "Verily, verily, I say unto thee, except a man be born again, he cannot see the kingdom of God."
Okay, so this is what we're talking about, right? You have to be born again. So you have to be recreated in your spirit. Give me Ezekiel chapter 36 verse 25. What you got?
And also, if you pray,
If you can speak just a little bit louder so I can hear you.
and also if you pray and you don't care, then also God will know. Don't like believe in you as trusting and leaving the
Right.
That's what he preaches.
rules of the Bible.
Yeah, please, let's get that. She's literally saying stuff that's in the Bible, right? If you praying, we just gonna let him read it.
This is the book of John, chapter 9, and verse 31. Now we know that God heareth not sinners, but if any man be a worshiper of God and doeth his will, him he heareth.
You see that? So that's exactly what you're saying. So the Most High literally only hears people that really come to him with the right spirit. Somewhere else in John it says, the true worshipers will worship him in spirit and in truth. Right? What you gonna say?
And also, you have to pray to the east so he can hear you.
Right, and it's a way to pray, right? Right. So we gotta. That's the thing about it. The Most High has a certain way for us to pray. Now, let me get that John 3 real quick because I want to make this point in John 3.
John 3 and 3. Yahushua answered and said unto him, "Verily, verily, I say unto thee, except the man be born again, he cannot see the kingdom of God."
All right, question. Everybody over there except for Tyler and Ashton. How can a man be born again?
by doing what the Most High tells you to do.
Okay, I should say except for Asia.
All your kids.
I want to get into it, but that's a good answer. Right. That's the goal. Pretty soon we're gonna be like, nah, all the kids be quiet. We're gonna let the guests answer. Like
Right. Nobody related to Yana.
Yeah, you know what I'm saying? But all praises, that's right. So okay, so let's keep reading the story. Let's see, because the man's gonna ask Jesus, he's gonna be like, yo, Yahushua, what you talking about being born again? Right? Let's keep going.
Verse 4, Nicodemus said unto him, how can a man be born when he is old? Can he enter it the second time into his mother's womb and be born?
You see that?
Why did he ask this ignorant question?
But see, the thing is, because he thinking only of the physical things.
Okay, yeah.
He thinking only of the physical things. What's up?
Basically, you're trying to say that when he thinks only the physical things, he can't think about the spiritual things and understand that. Like he's limited to the physical things.
Exactly. Right. And when he sees the world, he like being born again. So you're gonna go back into your mom's belly? Like
we thought Yahushua was crazy.
That's what he was saying. You had a question?
Oh no.
Oh, okay. So yeah, so that's the thing. So okay, being born again. Now let's go back to our example of money, right? Of making money or starting a business. How can you be born again as it pertains to starting a business? How can you go back? How can you go back to being a baby as it pertains to starting a business? Go ahead.
To relearn everything you already know.
Okay, so you have to acknowledge, number one, I don't know everything, because that's what babies would acknowledge.
You can rebrand.
Right? You can rebrand yourself. You're starting fresh, and you're saying, I gotta find somebody who can lead me in the right way.
Right.
Because a baby is always attached to a person that's going to lead them and nourish them and feed them, right? So if you're gonna be a baby, you're gonna find somebody who can lead you in the right way.
I'm not gonna go to somebody that never had a business to get business advice.
And get busy, but we do it all the time.
Yeah.
Yo, don't. Yo, you should sell your shirts for $55. It's like,
here
we go.
Who buying that?
Right. He go one. This is not business related. He go one. Girl, I wouldn't deal with that if I was you. That's the main one.
There you go.
Because we won't take business advice from broke people, but we will take relationship advice from single people.
Yep. No, that's a fact.
That don't make no sense.
Right? That goes back to being a baby. But the flip side to being a baby is a baby doesn't know who to trust. So now some baby, there ain't never been a baby that was like, hold up, a 2-month-old baby, hold up, you smoking crack, I'm leaving.
I'm out of here.
It ain't never been. So that's the disadvantage to being a baby. So sometimes we might find a business coach, a relationship coach, a life coach, a spiritual coach that's not the right person to follow, but you don't know because you're such a baby. So what we got to be able to do is we got to pray to the Most High for what? What's the word we got to pray for?
Forgiveness.
Discernment. Right?
You shouldn't have said that word.
Come on, let's get it.
Hebrews 5:13. For everyone that uses milk, so verse 12. For when the time ye ought to be teachers, ye have need that one teach you again, which be the first principles of the oracles of God, and are becoming such have need of milk and not of strong meat. For everyone that uses milk is unskillful in the word of righteousness, for he is a babe, but strong meat belonging to them that are full of age, even those who by reason of use have their senses exercised to discern both good and evil.
Excellent precept. Cover everything we just said, right? So this is what's so cold about that. We need to be praying to the Most High for discernment because we all different stages of babes, right? Ain't nobody in this room not a baby. Because if Paul stepped in this room, we all babies. We newborn babies at that point, right? Go ahead.
Another step that we didn't name yet, it would be being receptive.
Okay.
As a child actually understands that they don't know.
Exactly.
So a child would be more receptive to actually listening and taking the information. And then when you go to Isaiah chapter 1 verse 17, it tells you to, I'm just skip certain parts, 17 to 19. Verse 17 tells you to learn to do well. So that goes with reception because when you learn to do well, you're the receiver and not the deliverer.
Yeah.
Verse 18 says, come now and let us reason together, said the Lord. So even if I thought I knew something, there's nothing wrong with iron sharpen iron. Maybe you can teach me something, right? And I teach you something. It all goes back to putting pride aside. Yeah. And then verse 19 says, if you be willing and obedient, ye shall eat the good of the land. So that's going back to telling you, if you are receptive to soaking up information, then, willing and obedient. You can't do it thinking you know everything.
God.
What was that precept you found?
Isaiah
1:17.
1:17-19.
I'm writing that down.
That's a good example of what he just said.
And
And everybody
had to pause real quick.
Pause right
Verse
quick.
20.
Let me get that precept.
Verse 20 goes into it and says, but if you refuse and rebel, so the opposite of reception is rebellion. It says, if you refuse and rebel, ye shall be devoured with a sword, for the mouth of the Lord has spoken. So the Most High is actually like throughout the scriptures telling us to return as a babe, but he's also commanded us to stay as a baby.
Right. That's a fact. So these are the things we need to be thinking about in our spiritual life, right? Because once again, this not only helps us in our spiritual life, this helps us in every aspect of life. If you go to your math class and your teacher like, all right, y'all, let's turn to page 27, and you like, nah, man, I've been past page 27. I'm on page 72. I'm too high for y'all up in here. It's like, yo, like I can't even teach you nothing. I was gonna tell y'all something y'all didn't know yet. That ain't even in the book, right? That's how the Most High be moving. He'll teach you something that's not in the book, right? For instance, and some people will be like, what can he possibly teach you that's not in the book? Well, let's talk about it, right? So everybody in here has worn fringes, right? We can say that. This is not in the book, but this is something that we learn through wearing our fringes. When you wearing your ZZ, you ever had one fall off?
Yes.
How much you supposed to have on?
4.
Supposed to have on 4.
Yeah.
You might have one fall off. You walking down the street, you like, oh snap, I'm losing one of my ZZ. What does that mean spiritually?
You ain't doing something right.
Spiritually, that means even with the commandments, because the ZZ represent the commandments, even with the commandments, I need to be cognizant and mindful that I gotta always be on point. Like, oh snap, I'm actually forgetting a commandment right now. It's possible. That's a spiritual thing that we learned. It was not written in the book. But because we so high and lofty, we think we know everything. Most High can't teach us that. Go ahead.
And I was gonna say, like, my kids, they just started wearing these, and when they forget or they literally lose their mind, like, I need to be having these on. So
Right.
It's like something that's learned so quickly, even for kids.
Exactly. Even for a child that you would think, but the Most High can teach.
They will literally go
Whatever
back
he
in their
trying to
house for it.
It's cold, man. All praise to the Most High. You had your hand up, Adrian?
Oh no.
Okay. So let's keep going. Let's go back to John 3. Let's finish it up.
Okay, fine. This book of John, chapter 3, and we are at. This is the book of John, chapter 3, and we are at verse 5. Yahushua answered, verily, verily, I say unto thee, except a man be born of water and of the Spirit, he cannot enter into the kingdom of God.
Uh-oh. So what is the water?
The word.
The word. Okay. So you got to be born through the word, meaning you can't just say, you can't be Yah-Jew, right? You can't be Yah-Jew and say, oh, I know all this stuff about the Most High, but I don't read the Bible. What? How you know about the Most High but you don't read the Bible? When the Bible is what taught everybody about the Most High. That don't make no sense. So you have to be born through the word and through the Spirit. So you can't just be walking around like the Pharisees, quoting the Bible all day, like the scribes quoting the Bible all day, and then rejecting Christ, right? You have to have a perfect marriage between the word and the Spirit. All right, let's keep going.
Verse 6. That which is born of the flesh is flesh, and that which is born of the Spirit is spirit. Marvel not that I say unto thee, ye must be born again.
Okay, let's make that make sense. That which is born of the flesh is flesh. Your body is flesh. But your spirit has to be born as well. Right? Now we can get that Ezekiel 36 and verse 25. And let's talk about what happens when you're born of the Spirit.
Khan, this is the book of Ezekiel, chapter 36 and verse 25. Then will I sprinkle clean water upon you, and ye shall be clean from all your filthiness, and from all your idols will I cleanse you.
Okay, so this is the Most High talking about he's going to clean our spirit, right? And as a baby, what happens to babies, guys? Do y'all know? What happens to babies when they're born? So they're inside the belly, but what's inside the belly with the baby?
Water.
They're in water, right? So when they're born, they're physically coming out with water. So water is a part of the birth process. in the physical life and in the
So
spiritual
why
life.
the hell do you gotta be baptized?
But see, that's the thing, because they think, but this is the true baptism,
And I didn't. You told me that.
right? Yeah, remember we talked about that. Because they want to teach you that. They want to teach you that the rebirth is you being dunked in a pool full of water, when the Bible is telling you the Most High sprinkling you with water is the true baptism. Now, do the Most High come into this room and sprinkle you with water? Lie. You know what being sprinkled with water is? What's going on right now? And then when you go home, you get ready to do something that you just read you ain't supposed to do, and you be like, oh, nope, not doing that. That's the sprinkling of water. That's the cleansing of the idols. When we do a class, when Brother Judah do a class on Christmas or damn Valentine's Day, or I don't want y'all start going into the books and showing you how all these idols are connected to paganism, you're going to put all them idols away. You're going to be like, I'm never doing that. That's the Most High cleansing you from your idols. Read verse 26.
Verse 26. A new heart also will I give you, and a new spirit will I put within you.
That's being born again. The Most High going to give you a new heart and a new spirit. Now, when you see people talking about the Bible, it's not going to be a burden. It's going to be, yo, hold up. What was that precept he just said? Yo, hold up real quick. I need that precept. And you're going to be saving these precepts for yourself. That's being born again. Remember when we first came into the truth, we always talk about this. It's funny how the Most High works. We all went through the same process. When we all came into this truth, we couldn't get enough of finding precepts, watching camp videos. Everybody in this room will tell you the same story.
Cold cuts.
The WFI cold cuts, right? We couldn't get enough of watching. Like, it's like, yo, how does he know that?
Right.
How he remember that Bible verse? Because the Most High put a new spirit on us now. That's what we desire. Go ahead.
And I just visualizing. I remember like coming into the truth. At the beginning of it, like we sold like whatever we're trying to do. It's like then the spirit just kind of like have you back all the way up. You start
Right.
all the that you was mingling and doing and stuff like that. You know what I mean? It's like dang, like you gotta literally back up to really see. You know what I mean?
Not for real. It's like you get a new perspective.
Yeah.
And then another thing the Most High did for us was he separated us from a lot of stuff. Because like when we was in Japan when we really started reading our Bible for real, and all of our friends was partying. Their parties were starting to look crazy. It was like, hold up, bro, like what y'all doing over here? Like they was doing crazy stuff at these parties, and we was like, all right, we ain't going.
Yeah,
then after a while, we just stopped going out altogether. Then after a while, we just stay home and be doing Bible studies. Then after a while, then we found out about the Israelite. It was like a graduation process that the Most High brought us through, and he separated us from other things. Let me get Deuteronomy 7 and 6.
This book of Deuteronomy, chapter 7, and verse 6. For thou art a holy people unto the Lord thy God. The Lord thy God hath chosen thee to be a special people unto himself, above all people that are upon the face of the earth.
So I'm going to use Judah's example right here. What does the word holy mean? The word holy means, in the Hebrew, is kodash, set apart. So the Most High literally sets you apart, right? What do you do with babies when they're born? You set them apart. You have a whole nother room that the baby born in, the room been sterilized, right? It's a clean space, nothing dirty ever been in there, that type of stuff, right? And then they sanitize the entire room, and the only people can come in there, you got special garments on just to come in there. Because a baby is a holy or a set apart thing. So when your spirit is born, the Most High sets you apart, and now you watching certain things, and you're like, yo, turn the channel, man. Turn that. Turn that music. Right. You see what I'm saying?
You heard what I said at the crib yesterday. I said the red came on. I came in that house so fast. Oh no, this is going off now.
I'm telling you. And sometimes you'll be out of touch with it. Sometimes you will be out of touch, and you'll be listening to something, and somebody else will say something, and be like, "Yo, my sister said it yesterday." She's like, "Not before the Sabbath." Because we were listening to something, my iPod just shuffling. She's like, "Hold up, not before the Sabbath," right? Because we understand that during that birth process, I gotta be separate, right? Let's keep going on that in Ezekiel.
A new heart also will I give you, and a new spirit will I put within you, and I will take away the stony heart out of your flesh.
Hold up. What's the stony heart? What does stone represent? The physical, right? But what does stone represent?
Tough, hard.
Hard,
Stubbornness.
stubborn. It ain't gonna change, right? So the Most High said, "I'm gonna take the heart of stone out of your flesh." That heart that was like, man, y'all talking about the Bible again, bro? Get out of here, man. That spirit is gone. He moving that. He giving you a new spirit. Go ahead.
It's crazy because I grew up hearing I've been this way my whole life.
Yeah.
I ain't gonna change. He ain't fooling me yet. Yeah.
And that's crazy.
Yeah.
We talk about it all the time. We talk about it all the time.
That's what I'm talking about earlier.
Yeah.
The old people like me,
Yeah.
people that's older than me, trying to tell them this truth and tell them this, they looking at me like this.
Right. And you gotta think about it, because they done heard what they done heard for 70 years.
Right.
That's like my grandma. But one thing about my grandma was she was real humble when I brought it to her. I was telling her about white Jesus, because since I was a baby, she had the white Jesus on the wall. And I came in there and I was like, yo, that white Jesus ain't even supposed to be up there. Next time we came to her house, it was gone. It was crazy. And I ain't even had to pull it down. Like, she pulled it down. Right? But that's just an example of, like you said, it's both sides of the coin. You got some people with that stony heart. And then you got some people that the Most High took that stony heart away and gave them a heart of flesh that now he can do stuff with. You know what I'm saying? He can mold and change you a little bit.
Because you can't make cookies with like hard butter. You got to soften it up to be mixed.
Right,
So
in order
that's
to
what he
mix
wants you to
in.
be. Yeah.
That's right.
That's a good analogy.
That's a good analogy.
Yeah.
And we see it all the time when people you see on the street.
Yeah.
Been talking to him for a minute.
Yeah.
At first, we gotta say the brother Jeremiah from SOT. We gotta talk about it.
Yeah.
The good brother.
Yeah.
At first, he came up. He didn't want to hear it. He already knew what he knew.
Yeah.
The next thing you know, that brother on the corner with fringes on to this day.
Yeah, to this day.
That's
mighty
the perfect
brother, man.
example.
That is the perfect example. And it's a lot of brothers who came up. Like, I'm telling you, if I would have came in contact with the camps at the wrong time, I would have been a scoffer. Ain't no doubt about it. I would have been a 100% scoffer. I would have been like, nah, Bible don't say that. And they would have been cutting me left and right. And then I would have been one of the brothers on the video.
Thank God, right?
They the Most High. It ain't go like that.
That goes with what I taught last week about the parable of the sower and the seed.
Yeah.
You sow the seeds out, and people. There's 4 types of people. You're gonna, you either got those stones in you, like we talking about.
Yeah.
Or you're gonna let the cares of this world choke you out. You can't hear the word because you focused on out here.
Yeah.
Or you're gonna be that wayside. You just say, I ain't even trying to listen to this.
Yep.
And then you got that good ground where you saying, let me think about this.
And you allow it to grow.
And you allow it to grow.
Yeah.
It seeps in, and now you can bear fruit later on as time goes on.
That's right.
Yeah.
That's right. And that's the craziness behind us saying that I'm not gonna change. Because you started as a seed.
Yeah.
You're not gonna change. You never gonna grow.
Right.
You see what I'm saying? That's stupid. And we talk about this all the time because we got plants at the house, right? If I have a plant that look like this now, 7 months from now it look like that, it's a problem with that plant. I'm throwing that plant away. I'm starting over. But yeah, so I'm tripping. But yeah, I'm throwing that plant away. I'm starting over. Right? It's the exact same thing with your spiritual life. It ain't no way why brothers should be, man, man, I need to start studying a little bit more, man. Bro, you've been saying this for 7 months. Bro.
Those people drain you, bro.
On camera.
Right. And it's like, yo, I'm with you. I understand we all do need to, it's good to be humble, but ain't no way you still need to study the book of Philemon, and that's 1 page. Ain't no way you ain't read through that yet. Come on.
Not even Obadiah, bro.
Yeah, you see what I'm saying? Oh man, I need to. Those be the people that we see at camp all the time. They'll come and listen. They don't want to join the camp, but they'll listen, and then they'll be like, "Oh man, I got a question. Yo, how you still got this question?" Right? Not throwing shots, but that's just what it is. And me and Judah was talking about this before. We have to get better at calling stuff the way it is. Christ was doing that. Christ was not holding no punches. He was telling you what it was. Like, get behind me, Satan. He wasn't trying to save Peter's feelings, right? So we can't do that because that's not true love. If I'm trying to save your feelings, I'm actually more focused on your flesh than I'm focused on your spirit. So we have to think about that. Let's get in here. Let's finish this up in Ezekiel.
And I will give you an heart of flesh, verse 27. And I will put my spirit within you and cause you to walk in my statutes, and ye shall keep my judgments and do them.
You see that? So the Most High is saying that I'm going to put this, when I put this spirit in you, this spirit is going to cause you to keep the commandments, right? So it's not us keeping the commandments on our own accord. It's not, oh, I decided to keep the commandments. None of that. It's the Most High putting his spirit in you, and that spirit moving you to do the commandments, right? So that's the new birth. All right.
And to add to that, that's putting that spirit on you. It's also a sealing process as well.
Yeah.
That sealing of that spirit. And that's how you can be able to tell where people are at.
That's right.
In their walk.
And that's how the Most High is going to judge you in the last days.
And you want to be sealed in this.
Yeah.
You want to be. You don't want to take it for granted.
That's right. So let me finish out. Let's go back to Romans 6. And let's finish this out and make this make sense what Paul is teaching.
So the Romans chapter 6.
And then jump down to verse 14.
Verse 14. For sin shall not have dominion over you, and ye are not under the law, but under grace.
So now you see why that verse makes sense. Sin doesn't have dominion over you no more because the Most High put his spirit in you to force you to do the commandments. So now you don't have to sin no more. You literally have a spirit on you that can force you to do the commandments, which frees you from sin. Right? Let's keep going.
Verse 15. What then? Shall we sin because we are not under the law, but under grace? God forbid.
Come on.
Know ye not that to whom ye yield yourselves service to obey, his service ye are to whom ye obey, whether of sin unto death or of obedience unto righteousness.
And this is the point. I want everybody to focus on verse 16. This is the point. Whoever you end up serving, right? Everything you do is a decision. Whether you decide to leave the house without your fringes, or whether you decide, I'm not going to keep the Sabbath today. Today's just not the right day for me. I'm not going to do it today. Every single time you face with that choice, you're choosing sin or you're choosing the Most High. And whoever you choose, that's whose servant you are. That's how it works.
I'm trying to say this for last time I wrote it down.
Yeah.
You just saying that I got a great example of the spirit versus the flesh. And the spirit having to answer to the flesh due to what the flesh did. Luke chapter 16, starting at verse 19. It says, there was a certain rich man which was clothed in purple and fine linen and fared sumptuously every day. Sloppy. And there was a certain beggar named Lazarus, which was laid at his gate full of sores, and desiring to be fed with the crumbs which fell from the rich man's table. Moreover, the dogs came and licked up his sores. And it came to pass that when the beggar died, now we see the physical and what he did during the physical life, and now we see the physical dying. It said the beggar died and was carried away by the angels into Abraham's bosom. And the rich man also died and was buried. And in hell he lifted up his eyes, being in torment, and seeth Abraham afar off, and Lazarus in his bosom. Verse 24. And he cried and said, Father Abraham, have mercy on me, and send Lazarus that he may dip the tip of his finger in water and cool my tongue, for I am tormented in this flame. So now we see that when it was physical, it was vice versa. And then after the death came of the physical body, we're in the spirit. And notice what he's asking for.
Ooh,
he's asking
heavy.
for that sprinkle now, that
That's
water.
Heavy. Yeah.
He's asking for the word. He's not literally asking for no water. He's asking for the water that he needs to cleanse where he's at.
Yeah.
So when you look at that, and I seen that the whole time, the whole lesson, I thought about that example. And that's a great example of this physical versus the spirit.
That's
and what comes with it. He went back to asking for the word and couldn't get it.
Yeah, I've never read that.
That's crazy.
That's good.
But that's heavy because, like you said, when the physical body gone, and the only thing that's left is the spirit.
It's over with.
It's over with. You're gonna be begging the Most High.
Still alive though.
That's crazy. That's crazy.
What was that again?
Luke 16,
19 through I think it was 25.
Yeah. Luke 16:19. Yeah. That's beautiful. Right? I forgot what I was saying. What was I saying? Oh, yeah. Romans 6:16.
Yeah.
So read that one more time.
Romans 6:16. Know ye not that to whom ye yield yourselves servants to obey, his servants ye are to whom ye obey, whether of sin unto death or of obedience unto righteousness.
Come on.
But God be thanked that ye were servants of sin, but ye have obeyed from the heart that form of doctrine which was delivered you. He be saying some words.
I'm telling you, that boy Paul deep, bro.
Verse 18. Being then made free from sin, ye became servants of righteousness.
You see that? Because we're free from sin, we're now servants of righteousness. So now the push and the drive that I have is to do good things for the Most High. Like yesterday, for whatever reason, I was just locked in. I ain't put together a PowerPoint in forever. And after me and Adam want to talk, I was like, all right, cool. I gotta start getting my PowerPoint together. So yesterday I spent like an hour and a half. The kids will tell you. I spent like an hour and a half. I'm watching the video. I'm getting all my research together. I was just locked in because the Most High just put it back on me to zone in, focus on this, get this done. And that's really where the most growth comes from. When you locked in and the Most High just pouring into you and you just eating up the spirit, man. So go ahead.
Let me bring this out. To give you an example, Esdras, he was very direct in that very point, and he brings it out very clear.
Yeah.
He brings it out very clear, and we should take heed to what he's saying in second Esdras 3. It says 3 in verse 20, it says, and yet tookest thou not away from them a wicked heart. See, we always gonna have a propensity to do wicked. That's why we gotta endure to the end.
That's right.
Right? It says that thy law might bring forth fruit in them.
That's right.
That's where we getting our fruit from.
That's right.
It's through the law. So we have to be obedient to the law, or else we're gonna fall off, and then we're gonna be just like Adam was.
That's right.
You see what I'm saying?
That's right.
It says, for the first Adam, bearing a wicked heart, transgressed and was overcome, and so be all they that are born of him. We all have that same thing, even though we're in the truth.
Yeah.
We still can fall short, so we got to keep that in mind and whatnot. Yeah,
And that's what Jonathan was saying earlier about when you first come into the truth, how you really got that zeal.
Yeah.
That's why Revelation 2 and 5 it tell you when you fall, you're supposed to go back to your first works.
Your first love.
Right.
That's
exactly.
right.
Good point.
It's an excellent point. So that's the whole point of the class, man. All praise to the Most High. I just want everybody to focus on every time you have a choice to make a decision between good and bad, right? Life and death, sin and righteousness. You are making the choice of who I'm serving right now. That's literally what you're doing. You're saying, I'm gonna serve myself right now. The Most High gotta wait. That's what you're saying. All right. So go ahead, hit that.
You already know who knows.
Yeah.
This is the book of Joshua, chapter 24, and verse. Let me see where I want to start at, because the point is in the middle of that precept. Let me start 14.
No, 14.
Now therefore fear the Lord and serve him in sincerity and in truth, and put away the gods which your fathers served on the other side of the flood and in Egypt, and serve ye the Lord. And if it seem evil unto you to serve the Lord, choose ye this day whom ye will serve, whether the gods of your fathers whether the gods which your fathers served that were on the other side of the flood, or the gods of the Amorites in whose land ye dwell. But as for me and my house, we will serve the Lord.
That's right. All praises. So all praise to the Most High, man. We appreciate y'all participation. Any closing words? Y'all have any precepts or any closing words you want to bring up? Okay, all praises. So, hey, we appreciate y'all for watching. Shalom.
Shalom.